Setting a standard in Christ. Setting a standard in Christ. Urban Family Talk.
I want to welcome to the show my good friend and fellow warrior in the good fight of faith. He is Christopher is the executive director for unhyphenatedamerica.org, a wonderful website that posts commentary, topical commentary of the day of our particular worldview based on common sense. Welcome to the show, Christopher Harris.
Brother Lucy, what's going on?
How you doing, man? You know, I've been anticipating this for some time. I'm glad we were able to map our schedules together so you could be available for this. I'm hoping I can make this a regular thing where I get you to come on the show. I know you got a pretty busy schedule. And I didn't mention, I'm going to take Chris' his bio and drop it into the chat room there because it's quite detailed in terms of the many things he's been involved with, folks. I mean, he writes regular commentary for Unhyphenated America. Also, he's been on the circuit. I mean, you've seen him on Fox, you've seen him on the major networks. He does a lot of incredible work with Kevin Jackson, who is prolific in speaking truth. I need to get Kevin on the show. I need to get him as well. But that's like chasing smoke. Getting hold of Kevin.
They're not ready for Kevin. Right?
I don't know if they're ready for you, but we're gonna give it the best that we have. And I think our chat room is chomping at the bit. They're already posting the pics on you, brother. See, so they're not messing around. Thank you, brother Ari. There he is. That was on Focus today. Christopher has been on the circuit for some time, speaking truth. You've seen him on CNN. He's gone on panels with Don Lemon. I had to ask you about that one day. How was that, Mr. Lemon? Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, let me just ask you something here, since I just brought that up. What's with it with grown men? Repeat. Grown men crying on TV. And I don't mean in some drama or something. I'm talking about talking heads, political pundits, news people tearing up over matters of state in the economy or whatever you want to call it. And it just, I don't know, man. You know what I want to say? Man card revoked. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Revoked. Give it to me. I'm chopping it up, cutting it up, shredding it, burning it. You know, there's just certain things. And listen, this past weekend, I had a young man that I've been mentoring for a little bit over a year and a half. We were at a business conference, and we have an optional Sunday worship service. And during that conference, at the Sunday worship, the young man came to Christ. We had an altar call, and he came to Christ. And I had tears rolling down my face like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? As a man, see, it's one of those ridiculous things to say that men don't cry, right? I mean, is that because most men lead lives of quiet desperation? You know, they always say that men cry in the dark because, quite frankly, we're supposed to not necessarily show weakness, but it is okay for men to cry because we're human beings and there are emotions. And when something like someone that you've been working with, mentoring, comes to Christ, it's appropriate to cry.
Preach.
When you have a child that's born, it's appropriate to cry.
Yes.
When you lose a loved one,
well,
it's appropriate to cry.
Preach.
But brother, don't be up on TV crying because of some political issue. Come on now, man. Come on now.
Thank you.
Flag on the play. Flag on. All I got to say is flag. Where's my red flag on the play? That's all I have to say about that. It's just, Lonnie, I've had these discussions, and I have people come at me sometimes, which is never a good thing for somebody to come at me because, they ain't ready. But I've had people come at me because I'm frequently talking about manhood, real masculinity, something that is lacking in the world today, something that's been under attack for quite a long time now.
I agree.
But and I've had some, and as Rush would call them, feminazis, kind of come at me and say, "Oh, well, you talk so strongly about this, and you must be trying to overcompensate." And I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever helps you to sleep well at night, to throw that at me, but it's not even remotely true, so it's not even worth it. Here's the thing: you need to talk strongly about these things because so many young men and let's talk specifically, since this is Urban Talk Radio, so many urban young men have been deprived of real masculine influence.
Preach.
And so what you end up having, see, man, let's see, why'd you do this, Lonnie? You got me about to go on a rant. Your listeners like, is he going to take a breath? Is he going to let Lonnie talk? No,
that's
I'm not
my
going to let
job.
Lonnie talk. I'm just going to roll.
That's my job, is to tee it up, knock it out the park. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. But, I mean, so many young black men in particular, but just, children in general, have been raised sans a father. And then when there has been a father present, in many cases, that father, especially in recent generations, never actually had a real example of manhood and masculinity himself. So he's present, but he's not really fulfilling the role that he's supposed to fill. And if, we have, as we call them, the pro-blackity blacks, right? Yeah, as I call them.
I'm black and black was black.
The ones who are going to come out to watch the Black Panther movie wearing African regalia, and you're from Brooklyn.
Wait, brother. Wait. Now, you know what's going to happen. I've told you this. We talked about this. There's going to, I'm telling you, dashikis, black berets, and black leather jackets, the sales of them are going to go through the roof. In fact, I think you and I need to talk about maybe getting a website up so we can make some money off these passionately misinformed individuals.
Well, it happened after the movie Coming to America, right? All your cousin and them somehow thought that the moon was a real place, right? And everybody walking around with wondering, where can I get one of those lion heads that I can wear? I want a lion head to put over my shoulder, and I want to be the king of Zamunda. So you had that kind of thing going on.
Hey, don't be talking about that's my favorite movie, man. And Zamunda's a real place, I want you to know. It's Washington, D.C., otherwise known as a swamp.
It's next door to Wakanda, so for those who don't know, some of y'all are missing out on a great inside joke. I'm going to try to explain it, but it just ruins the joke if I explain it, but I'm going to do it anyway since it's radio. It is, the movie, the Marvel comic book movie, Black Panther, which actually looks like it's going to be an excellent movie, visually stunning, great storyline. If you watched Captain America Civil War, they introduced the character, the Black Panther, who is T'Challa, who's the king of Wakanda, and he's pretty bad. He's a bad dude, man. But now there's a full full-length feature movie, rather, about the Black Panther, and all the previews are out there. If you just Google it, you'll see it. It's going to be an awesome movie. I actually predict that it's going to really kill it at the box office, but it's still fodder for lots of jokes because. There's a lot of people who are going to take stuff like that literally and think that somewhere hidden in the bowels of Africa, there's actually a place called Wakanda that's this ultra-modern place and so on and so forth. And it just ain't true, okay? It's just movie, folks. It's just movies.
I'm just hoping, I'm hoping, Chris, that they don't let the movie flow for what it is, and I hope it's a great movie. I just hope that and I know this because it's coming out of Hollywood, there's going to be some ideology in there to try to legitimize the legacy of the Black Panther movement from the 60s. I'm a California boy. I remember it up close and personal. I remember the kids showing up with the berets and leather jackets. In fact, I have a good friend of mine, Pastor Rivers, who said that he went out and commandeered a beret and a black leather jacket and some steel-toed boots because he was a junior Panther. In other words, he was still in high school, I think it was, and he snuck it off and wore it to school. Well, somebody at the school called his mama, and Mama Rivers showed up at the school. So he got called from the classroom. He said, Lonnie, I was looking so cool. I had my beret on, my fro was combed out, had my black leather jacket on. And then the office called the classroom and said, Bruce Rivers report to the principal's office. He said, Lonnie, I walked in there just as cool as I want to be, opened the principal's office door from the secretary's office, and there was my mama. He said that his mother looked at him like, that is not what you left out of this house having on this morning. And he's like, how did she find out? And he said, Lonnie, the The principal didn't say 2 words to me. The principal got up from her office, walked out of her office, and closed the office door and left him in the office with his mama. And he's like, no, don't do that. Please, God, don't leave her in with me by myself. Long story short, his mama wore him out. He said she whooped me out of them black beret and them leather jackets. We got a cue for a break here. Folks, I've got Christopher Harris on the show. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Truth. We're about wisdom. We're about empowerment. Urban Family Talk.